Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Renschler alongside sports director Kevin Sjuts in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Kevin, we've kind of taken a step backwards in terms of the weather, but taking steps forward with spring practice, wrapping up practice number 12. 2 remain before spring game next week.
Matt Rule liked the weather today. Did you hear that?
He did. That was one of the very first things that he said. He told the offense, hey, pretend you're in East Lansing, you're playing Michigan State late in the year.
Yeah.
Told the defense, hey, it's Iowa, day after Thanksgiving. This is the kind of weather you're going to be playing, and I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, he didn't mind it being a little bit wet, a little bit breezy, colder. You know, they enjoyed the 80 degrees temperatures here this week at spring practice, but downshifted today, different conditions, but this is kind of like a Big Ten football spring kind of day.
It is, absolutely, 100%. Again, breezy, chilly, again, especially compared to where it's been, but it sounds like, again, wrapped up a scrimmage this morning. There were some good things, some bad things, it sounded like. What was your takeaway from he gave about a 20-minute press conference afterwards?
Yeah, this is a big scrimmage for Nebraska.
Yeah.
The longest so far under Matt Rule. This is their second big-time scrimmage that they've had. And he didn't give us a number of plays, but you got the sense that this was pretty extensive. There are a lot of people there to watch it as well, recruits and some boosters and supporters of the program that were let in to watch this thing. And it sounded like they divided teams fairly evenly, and you know, they got after it today. I thought what was really interesting, Bill, is he shouted out specific guys and players that had good performances. Jeff Sims had a nice long touchdown run. Marcus Washington had a good day, had a touchdown catch in there. And he even filled the media in on how this thing finished. He said the defense had a really good day of practice, but at the very end, they put the ball on the 9-yard line. Said there's 9 seconds left. Defense has to try to get a stop. Offense tries to score. Defense got the stop, but there was a penalty.
Untimed down, personal foul. Sounds like there's a little bit of a fight. Didn't want to name names.
Something happened where, you know, the stop that the defense made was negated. So the offense got one final play. They scored. That was the Marcus Washington touchdown catch. And the offense went running off the field. It was a walk-off score.
Yeah.
And then the defense had to stand on the field, probably a little bit disappointed that they had practiced so well, but they didn't come up with the play. And it's all part of the plan for Matt Rule, right? This isn't, you know, something to get too discouraged about. Something he said following practice this morning on Saturday was he doesn't want the heart rate to get elevated on game day. He wants to experience these things during practices so that when these situations come up in the fall, that the team doesn't panic. They know they've kind of experienced that. And it's not just situations like he put his team through on Saturday, but even just from a communication standpoint and personnel decision standpoint.
Even from what they're wearing.
Yeah.
He says he wants them to be the same players they are in practice as they will be on Saturdays. You know, not dressing up on Saturdays to try and be flashy or showy. Wants them same on Tuesday, Wednesday practice as they are on Saturday in the stadium. And
it sounds like that's really what he wants out of the spring game on Saturday. I know thousands of fans are going to be inside Memorial Stadium. They want to see what this team looks like. Matt Rule wants that to be a practice. And following the format of what they've done the previous couple of weeks here is that they have practice Tuesday, Thursday, and scrimmage on Saturday. They did it this week. They did it 2 weeks ago. And so it's going to be the same next week. He even said that, you know, next Tuesday and Thursday, it's not going to be tweaking anything that they're doing. They just want to continue to ramp up, and they want to go have a scrimmage and just do it in front of the fans on Saturday. Of course, there's going to be all the glitz and glamour of being inside Memorial Stadium, and Frank Solich is going to be back, and there are a few other festivities that the university is planning for that day. But from a football standpoint, Matt Rule wants his team to get on the field and play like crazy and try to perform in pressure situations, and he does want to go live quarterbacks. He wants ones-on-ones. So it could be really good football next Saturday.
Yeah, and here's his soundbite about what he wants the spring game to look like.
I want to play ones versus, I want to play red versus white. The only way I'll change that is if I have like 7 offensive linemen, right? So I'll probably, they're going to have the new running clock rules in the NCAA, so I might run the clock like on first downs, not stop the clock to cut the plays. So, but I want to play a game. What I really want to do is have the teams and be like, hey, you're calling the plays for this team, you're calling the plays for this teteam, and then have them like compete against each other, like game plan each other, compete against each other. Like if I tell these guys like let's go run 10 half gassers, 10 40-yard dashes, they'll complain. If I say I want to see who the fastest guy is, they'll run 30 to prove that they're the fastest guy. So they love competition. So I'd like to have this be a competition next week. So I'm planning on it being like, that versus that. What I will say is I see a lot of people, like, they'll put their one offense and one defense on one team, and they go against the twos. And I want my one offense going against my one defense. I want iron sharpening iron. I want my two offense going against my two defense. So I'll probably put the one offense with the two defense on one team, the one defense with the two offense. So that way they're always going against similar groups. So it's a long answer to say I hope we can do that. The only way I'll change it is if we were to have like 7 or 8 O linemen available, I'd have to put them in like a different color jersey and still do the same thing with these guys, but probably have them just rotate as an O-line.
Coach has some energy right there. Doesn't look like a guy that was
at WWE
ringside
SmackDown last night. Maybe had a late night and an early morning. No, yeah, he's fired up.
I don't think the guy sleeps.
No, I imagine he gets
everywhere.
very little sleep. I imagine it's probably 4 or 5 hours a night, maybe.
Yeah,
and he would talk to his wife about that.
Yeah, and he's even wearing shorts. He joked about, like, he wasn't cold out there at practice today. He just needs a jacket. And then he joked, I just need a little cup of coffee to help keep me warm a little bit. But no, he made a comment about WWE SmackDown. He had a number of his players at Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday night. And he said that I just try to go to as many things in town as I possibly can.
Just tries to be involved in the community. Tries to be seen.
Did you see the video on SmackDown?
And they misspelled his last name.
But he was throwing up the bones, and he was yelling, "Go Big Red," like passionately into the camera.
He was fired up. He was fired up. And, there was probably, at least on the video I saw from WWE, there were probably 20 or 25 players there with him.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Pretty wild to think that, Fox's national broadcast of WWE SmackDown puts Nebraska football right in the spotlight as they are making their way through spring football.
So 2 more practices.
Yes.
Tuesday, Thursday. And again, he said today they have to earn the right to call themselves a good team. So these, like you said, these aren't going to be getting ready for Saturday, cleaning things up. These are going to be hard practices. Spring game is scheduled next Saturday, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. It'll be broadcast for those that are wondering. Tickets are still available. If you're not able to go or don't want to go, it will be broadcast live on Big Ten Network. So there's live coverage, and of course, we're going to ramp up our coverage. Not that we haven't been ramping it up already, Bill.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to next Saturday, seeing Matt Rule and being a part of all the festivities at Memorial Stadium. It's going to be a fun time. And the one curiosity I have, Bill, regarding Nebraska's spring game is if he wants ones and ones and then twos and twos, who are the ones and who are the twos? Especially in the secondary and on Nebraska's defensive line. Very curious to see where they place certain guys. And I think that'll be a sign of, who some of the premier players on this team might be and who's really emerged with this new coaching staff.
Yeah, that will be really, again, we've heard a number of names throughout spring practice. Gabe Irvin, they've talked about him. They've talked about the Bullock brothers a lot. They've talked about Harburg a lot. So it'll be really interesting to kind of see those players that do emerge. Just looking really quickly here, Kevin. European model, high of 48 next Saturday.
No.
It's the number that I have.
You're looking at the extended forecast?
I'm looking at the long-range forecast. That's the European model. The American GFS model next Saturday, 47. So
74? Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
74 sounds wonderful for mid-April in Nebraska football. It's going to be chilly.
It could be. That's the way. Both models have a little bit cooler, warming up midweek and then a little cooler by next week.
Kind of like this past week.
So we will wait and see. We have full coverage. It was just Matt Rule who spoke today, but we have his whole interview online on 1011now.com, and then we clipped it up so it's easily digestible for everyone instead of watching the whole. I think it was 18 minutes that he talked today. He even remarked to I think one of his associate ADs that he was going on too long today.
Yeah, he kind of joked that maybe he's overstayed his welcome in the in the media room. But we'll take all the Matt Rule we can get. He's so thorough.
Yes, he is.
And even though the media did not get to watch practice in the scrimmage today, he gave a pretty detailed breakdown. So if you want all the specifics, you can click on the video and watch Matt Rule.
And there you go. And we'll, of course, again, keep you up to date throughout the week. Again, spring game next Saturday. Kevin and the sports team and I will be here next Saturday. I don't know what it's going to look like, but we're going to have all the coverage. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone stays inside, stays warm today. Chilly Saturday. It should be a little bit better tomorrow, but still pretty windy. So anything else before we let him go, Kevin?
We're good.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. For Kevin, I'm Bill, 1011 Now Streaming Studio. Hope everyone has a nice Saturday.